All right, I'm hopefully live. Let me see. There we go. Okay, so this stream is mostly just going to be like working on a lot of the issues that I've neglected for the past couple weeks since I've been since I kind of moved my apartment and all that kind of stuff. So there's a ton of issues on for LunarVim out, and I really have not looked at any of them, and I haven't done a whole lot of development on LunarVim like recently. I've kind of just let the community handle a lot of the development stuff, and I've just been kind of merging PRs and things like that. So let's see what we got. GitHub. Okay. So there's almost 100 issues out. And like 35 pull requests, and I should probably update it and make sure that we're kind of using the state of the art, right? Hopefully everyone can hear me. Let me see. I'm going to have chat up too. This is a bunch of these things. What's up, Leonard? What's up, Dive? So I'll be checking out these chats too. Over on Twitch, I'm also streaming on Twitch. I wish Linux would allow Theta streaming. I'd be streaming on Theta too. So let's go take a look at what we should be doing here. First thing I'm going to do is, is everything good? Yeah, everything looks like it's good. So I'm going to go into NVim here, and I'm going to pull just in case I don't have the newest things. Looks like I was missing a couple things. Also, I'm going to go into my utils and into bin, and then I keep a install latest Neovim. Actually, I'm going to check where are we at with Neovim 0.5, by the way? Is that a thing yet, or is it not a thing? I'm going to go check the milestones. What's up, Guy in Disguise? What's up, Hart? Can I use LunarVim for React.js? Let's check. Let's see. So blog. This is all done in React. NVim. NVim might break halfway through because I'm installing the new one over here. So don't be surprised if something just breaks while I'm doing this. So this source components header. This is React. It says JavaScript React down here, so at least knows that it is. EFM seems to be the thing that started, but what we can do is we can check this and see, okay, EFM started most likely for something. EFM handles things like all the general things that aren't like, language specific. Like TSS server is what's actually doing this. So yes, you can do it with React. Here's a bunch of React code. And you can do things like, I don't know, let's see if we can get some completion. Like if I start to type layout, you get that. And let's see if we can do something like, see, you get all this LSP stuff. I don't remember this showing up over here like this. I feel like that's new. That's like an update. This did not, from my recollection, do that very well before. So anyway, yes, you can. Angular and Vue.js. I don't know. I've never tried Vue. I'm assuming there's something out there. I'll show something later in the stream on how to check all that stuff. But I'm assuming Angular and Vue, you probably still use TSS server for that. I always call it TSS server. So we're installing the new thing over here to get the state of the art. And I've been using it at work, but I've been using it like I haven't updated anything, because I just wanted to keep it very, keep it working because things can break very easily. Oh yeah, I was gonna go check the milestones for Neovim, so let's go do that. Neovim we could just look up Neovim. There we go. Okay. You can go to issues and you can go to milestones. Look, 0.6 is coming. No. We're still past due by 4 days, so. But they'll probably push it back. I think it was supposed to release on the 15th or something like that, but there's a few issues here, so we have to wait on those. But, I'm pulling 0.5 by doing this install right here. You can find the script to install 0.5 if you go to my LunarVim repo and you click on utils bin and install latest Neovim, and this will work on Linux and Mac. You just literally run this like a bash script, and that's all you got to do. You can see exactly what it's doing. It's literally just that repo we just looked at. It's cloning it, and it's making it and installing it and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, there's some pull requests out. Lots of pull requests. Yeah, there's some things. We'll see what we can get done. And we'll see what I feel like adding. Let's see, does this still work? Let's do now Packer update. I don't know when I need to Packer compile. I don't know enough about Packer. Like, you'd expect me to understand Packer very well, but I don't. So I don't know the difference between like why the hell I would need to compile and what that whole file's for. So I'm assuming it just speeds things up and caches stuff for when I want to install things or update whatever. See if there's anybody in chat. How can I split the screen? I don't know what you mean by that. Do you mean like my window manager? I have videos on window managers, and a lot of other Linux YouTubers do as well, so you can check that out. No problem. You asked about React.js. You forked LunarVim today. Cool. It was much better than my basic config. That's awesome, but it's still very much, it's probably always going to be a work in progress. Thanks for the Neovim related content. Yep. There's going to be all kinds of content. How do I ban CryptoChi? Let's see. How do we do this? Or mute him. Or just put him in a timeout. There we go. All right. Anyway, so that's my brother. Let's see. So Vim matchup had some updates since I last checked. Tree setters got lots of updates. Compy. Oh, okay. See, fix link to LSP signature.nvim. So it's given us a signature now. So that's kind of new. At least it's new to me. When did this happen? 34 hours ago. Okay. Telescope junk. New telescope things. I'm using the project stuff with Telescope, and that's really cool too. So I like Compy a lot better now. I don't care about all this tree sitter stuff, JSX components. Ooh, okay. Capital letter first, letter highlighted, all right. Auto tag, Vim matchup. I really like Vim matchup, but I feel like I don't use it to its fullest extent. MVim tree, I'm still waiting for, I don't know, maybe it's got all the updates that I want. I haven't really checked it out lately. F person, get blamed, don't care. They just updated the README. Which key? Hopefully none of this broke anything, but I love the new the new Lua based which key. It's really cool. MVim auto pairs. Hopefully that doesn't break anything. That's notorious for breaking all my shit. TS context comment string. Hopefully that works better. MV code color schemes, that's my color schemes. True Zen is pretty cool. I don't think I've gone over that one yet. Packer, friendly snippets. That's just like a ton of snippets in one repo. It's pretty cool if you used vsnip. Symbol outline, get signs. How long is this list? It's too long. I don't care about that. Plenary, trouble. Trouble's cool too if you haven't checked out Trouble. I feel like I'm also not using that entirely. LSP install. This is like how I'm installing all the LSP things and stuff like that. Okay, cool. So that's basically that. I think I can just queue, yeah. Whoops. Okay. There we go. So tree sitter is going to do that. It looks like nothing really broke. Where am I right now? I think I'm in bin. I feel like that should, I don't like that, what you call it, this thing didn't like take me to the directory with the .git in it. Like, I don't know. Okay, so some things that I was working on before are plugins. And so what I have now is I have an extras thing. So you see this extras. If extras is enabled, then you're going to pull down these as well. Like these are just ones that I also use, like just because I like them, and it just lets me use this repo as my own, as my own repo as well. And still allows people to have more of a minimal setup. And then what I want to do too is actually take some of this stuff out of the minimal setup, like anything that I really can, and then add it down into extras. And then you can just enable extras for like if you want that more, you know, bloated config that gives you a lot more features. But if you want it to be a little bit leaner, then you can just use these ones up here. And it's kind of like a running list of all my favorite plugins. So yeah. And what I'll probably do now is let's pick some issues and either fix them or update things or make things better in general. So let's see. What window manager? DWM. I have a thing on my GitHub you can check out. Split panels on LunarVim. So if you're talking about like split panels, like what, like just like you could just do V split, or I think you just do VS. Yeah. So you could just do this, right? What's wrong with that? And then you can I have it as a super space E or whatever like that to open up this sidebar guy. There's a new floating term thing out too called fterm. There's so many new things, and I had to like swap between everything, like swap all of the Vim script stuff out for all the new Lua stuff, which was like developed so fast. Like so many developers got on that with Lua and just did so much. So anyway, I think that's what you were talking about. You have a question? Ask your question. Yeah, VS, by the way, stands for vertical split. You can do regular split, and it just, I think, gives you a horizontal split. I think S just gives you a horizontal split, too. I haven't done it in a while. No, it's not. Let's see. But if you just do split, just like this one right here, yeah, so you get this horizontal split. I don't know why that's like the split. I feel like it should be split, and that does like this kind of split, because who the hell wants... Who splits things like horizontally? I've never seen that be useful. Like I feel the default split should be this split right, and then like H split or something like that should be the other way. Can't get Angular LSP working in LunarVim. I'll have to see if anyone else does that. I don't know enough about Angular. I've literally never used Angular. What terminal am I using? I guess eventually we'll do this if I'm not going to answer a million questions about like stuff that I use. I feel like so many people are so interested in the things that like I use. If you're interested in the stuff that I use, you just browse my... There's like 10 repos and these 68 repos that are all the things that I use. I don't have it on here anymore, so if you go to my repositories and you check out ST, I just use Simple Terminal, like my fork of it here. And it's got like all these patches and stuff like that. And maybe I'll patch it again in the future. But right now I like this. It's pretty stable. It works pretty well for me. So I use ST. If I'm not using ST, I usually use Alacrity. Okay. I need to update my installation of LunarVim. You don't really need to update it if it's working for you. But the ways to update it are like what I just did. You want to update Neovim by installing the latest Neovim. And the way that I give you to do that is if you go in utils, bin, and you run install latest Neovim, you'll get that. Now that's just Neovim. Now if you want to get the latest LunarVim or whatever, you can just, I mean, you can kind of get pull if you haven't changed anything. But if you change things, then you're going to need to pull this into your fork and, you know, do all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a pain in the ass, but it's the nature of the beast. It really is only like a Neovim config. What's up from Uzbekistan? I do not use Kitty. You have a question about a plugin, but it doesn't work. All right, well, you're going to have to tell me what the issue is if you want me to answer it. So let's take a look at this, and let's take a look at these pull requests here. There should be some easy ones, and we'll just check them out and see like if they work. Vim last place. I know there's people who want that, like it opens up in the last place that you're in there. I don't hate that. Let's start like the last time that I thought things were like good. So Rust tools, I don't think I really need that. I feel like that's something someone would add themselves. Is this a thing? What is this? What's the reason for this? Diagnostics are global now. This configuration is useless now. All right, let's see if that's true. Do I have any Python that I can check this on? I should have some Python somewhere. I was working on a Python speech assistant at one point in my life. A deep app. Okay, there's literally nothing in here. App.py. There we go. Here's some stuff. So you are positing in this pull request that those changes don't do anything. So let's see if that's true. So if I start typing def, well, this is diagnostic. So if like I leave that there, I guess there's no diagnostics here, right? So, but then if I, well, let's delete that and go like that. So what if I go into here and not Nautilus, into here, open up set LV settings, and there's some Python diagnostics, virtual text, and all this kind of stuff. And then what if I swap this to true, and then I swap this to true, and then I swap this to true? And we'll try that. And then we'll go back into repos. I know there's like a way to like hot update and reload Neovim, and I need to learn how to do that. So what was I doing? Oh yeah, the Python speech assistant thing. And now I have that. So I don't think that's true. I think they still do stuff. So I'm going to ignore that PR for now, just in case something is updated and I don't know about it. Let's go take a look at where am I right now? Okay. So I'm not going to remove that, I don't think. Fix Neovim installation cleanup. Okay. Interesting. And the issue that you got was... The reason I don't totally want to do this is that, well... Why do you have this issue? Why would you have permission denied? Why would it be... Alright, well, I guess it can't really hurt much. We'll merge that. Let's see what else we got. Change workspace, symbols binding, telescope, dynamic finder. This PR changes the which key binding leader LS to show the telescope dynamic finder, which is workspace symbols. 425 suggests something. I'm getting no result. Symbols go to project, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Telescope now has we should change the default which key binding to do that. Okay. I'm not sure that... I'm going to take a look at how you're doing this. Let's see. How old is this? This was like 13 days old. Okay. Let's see how you're doing this. So what you want... Oh, okay, this is simple. All right, that's fair enough. I like it. Simple, simple. James, I trust James. This provides a better behavior, especially for language servers that don't accept empty queries. All right, cool. So we'll merge that. Let's see what else. Let me not. Let's see what else. Deadliest Combat hey, can you help me with something? I'm actually using Alacrity Terminal, and I set the cursor shape to beam, but whenever I open Neovim and then exit out of it, the cursor shape changes to block. So one thing I would do is, if you look in my Mach files and you look in Alacrity, I may have something that might help you with that. Do I have... All right, so the first thing that I think there might be something in here about the cursor. I can't remember. Okay, so this just does that, and I guess that never... I guess it just does no blinking, so it's not helpful there. It may be helpful in my Z shell stuff, potentially. There might be something in here. One second. ZSH... there's also a Vim mode thing I have in here. Try this. So look at all this stuff. In my ZSH Vim mode stuff, you can find it in mock files on my GitHub. So you can go, where's my web browser? Oh, here we go. So you can go to mock files, which is not in the LunarVim repo. And you can go to mock files, you can check out, and this is just so you can like always, whoops. This is just so you can like, I'm assuming he's talking like, see how you have like this beam here and you can type, and then you can kind of go into this mode here. So if I'm in enter, or if I'm in insert mode here, I go like this. And then if I go like this, I'm in like Vim mode in my terminal, and I just press like X and things like that, right? So yeah, but go look in the Z shell and then like in here, and then go look at Z shell Vim mode, and then maybe that might help you. I don't know. Okay, so LunarVim, back to this, back to pull requests, back to, well, first I'm going to read a few more things. Why is this here? Let's get rid of that. Hey, it doesn't show my message. I sent a message, but it won't show it. Try Discord or Matrix. How do I get Java to run? Oh, no, he's back. Let's get him out of here. All right. Yeah. How much heavier is LunarVim to run versus NVim? I would also like to run it on Termux on a phone. Okay, so how much heavier is LunarVim than NVim? Probably like a lot, but how much lighter is LunarVim than like anything else? Also a lot. So I don't know, like is there any way to like really check this? Like if I just run this and maybe open up like a project like this one. I mean, I don't know. I was expecting like my gigs or something to go up, or yeah, I don't know. Maybe it went up like 0.1 gigs or something. Maybe, but that also could have been a rounding error as well. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's that heavy, but you could probably check it out and test it out. Great job with LunarVim. Yeah, it's kind of just stuff I've been working on for a little while. I have a question. I'm a noob with this. Where can I find the key maps? I don't know what you mean by key maps. Do you mean key maps for LunarVim? All key maps for LunarVim are in two places depending on the types of key maps that you're talking about. If we go into, like if you're in the LunarVim repo right here, right? And you go into Lua, right? You should see the first thing is key mappings, right? So you can go look at key mapping. Key mappings. And these are all just like basic key mappings that don't really do a lot. And then if you go into LV which key, and then you go down here, you'll see a ton more key mappings. And these are for things that help you with like commands that are not so like inline and simple to do, like not just keystrokes kind of. So you press space, and then like for instance, like under, I don't know, like let's see, LSP, right? So you'll press space, you see this plus LSP, you'll see plus LSP here, you'll see how that's an L, you'll see this is an L, you'll press L, and then you can see like all of the things you can do. It's named this thing, so like code action is A, and then that's A. We could like format this file, I guess. See that like I guess it put, like, I guess look at this sneaky format, right? Like look at that. I do LF, it gets rid of that. So yeah. That's about all I could really say for key maps. Wow, this Lunar is a config pat for Vim. No, it's not really. I just call it a layer. Doesn't matter. That worked? Cool, man. Awesome. I just call it as, it's like, I guess it's a config pack. It's kind of like that. Yeah. But not for Vim. It's for Neovim. I think it would be better for your channel to stick with Linux shell and NVim, no more cryptocurrency. Well, I like cryptocurrency, and there's going to be lots of cryptocurrency on my channel because it's my favorite thing. So your beat. Using Neovim extension in VS Code, but it's slow sometimes. Yeah, I've noticed that. That's why I've kind of just not been using VS Code. LSP Lumpy Space Princess. Yeah, I think that's from that show with the kid and the stretchy dog, and I can't really remember what the name of it was. So I think I was just old enough to be getting out of cartoons at that time when I was a kid. Let's see. What's this? Fix error, init.lua, something, blah, blah, blah. Interesting. We want to get rid of that. Okay. I mean, I don't know why you're running into this problem. Doesn't look like anyone... Doesn't look like anyone was reporting this. You're not... yeah, you're not like linking to an issue, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I don't think it really hurts much. So, all right, we got that. What else we got? Add file types to Terraform language server config. Okay, so .tf, .terraform, and HCL. I don't know if that would be dot these things, but that makes sense. Okay. Cool. I don't know how well the Terraform thing works. It's got 2 thumbs up from 2 users, so I'm not really too familiar with. But there we go. Fix go. I hate this problem. I feel like I keep merging one thing and then it breaks something for someone else, and I don't run Go or use Go. So like, just like, okay, well, get rid of the dot, sure. And then someone else will come up with an issue and be like, hey, I needed the dot. The dot was useful for something. All right, whatever. I guess I don't even know. I haven't written a whole lot of Go in my life. I've written a little bit of Go, but not like a ton. So, all right, let's go back to chat before I merge anything else. Is there a way to remove which key entries from the menu? Yeah, I mean, you'd have to like do it in code, right? So like you'd have to go like okay, so you might be having. It depends what your problem is. If you're starting to see things show up here that like aren't here, like you didn't define yourself, there is a way to do that, and you can tell me if that's your problem or not, and maybe I can help you further. But like if you want to get rid of some of the stuff from LunarVim. I don't like expose something in LV settings for this because I don't have enough time to actually make this like a serious project. But you could just like, delete that line and then it goes away. Or if you want an entire group of key maps to go away, you can just boom and get rid of them, right? So that's like an option. Let's see. Yeah, Adventure Time, that's what it was called. How to install Fire NVim. I don't use Fire NVim. I find it kind of clunky and a pain in the ass. Like, I don't like when Neovim just shows up all over my browser. I mean, I get the appeal, like, put Vim everywhere, but I don't know. It's just not for me. Could you do a demo of how to use sessions? Yeah, probably. Let me see. I haven't used the new session stuff that I have with this yet, but let's see if we could do like this. I forget if I have sessions built into the home screen. I used to. Okay, so there's like a load last session. We don't have a session. Okay, so I think I only have like load last session, but like let's do space here. We'll do capital S. What did I just do? Space, capital S for session, and we'll do S for save session. So now the session config nvim is now persistent. I hope this does something. And then if we go down here and, oh man, doesn't exist. It should have put that in there. It should have done that. So maybe that's something I actually have to fix, and I can look into that for you. But yeah, that's a good point. I feel like that should have saved a session, and I should have held on to it. And also, I think if we do search, actually not even search, if we do like telescope, and then maybe, does it have sessions? It doesn't have sessions. I feel like it should. I should probably look more into sessions. Good call, calling that out. I don't use sessions enough to really have a good answer on that. Any plans to add transparency options to LV settings? I found a hack, but it's not Lua. Why do you want transparency settings there? I guess is my question. Like, isn't it kind of more of a terminal concern, or you don't think so? There are settings I've defined, but they're cluttering the experience of the which key menu. So transparency, what, for your terminal? I don't know. You're gonna have to give me a good reason why that should be a LunarVim setting and not a terminal setting, or a Neovim setting and not a terminal setting or something, right? What's my favorite plugin out of all the plugins that I have? Trouble was a really cool new plugin that I really like. Probably if I had to live with one out of every single one, it would probably just be the LSP stuff, which is like a few plugins in one, but if I was able to just at least get LSP working, that would probably be enough for me. Everything else is kind of like just glamour on top, I guess. No, config, and Vim. I'm going to try and fix that sessions thing, or if somebody has a PR that they could fix it with and understands it better than I do right now. But if I was going through all of my plugins here and looking at the ones that I like the best, yeah, just like the regular LSP config stuff is really great. But like besides like LSP stuff that makes stuff work, Telescope is amazing. So Telescope would be very high up on the list, if not the second one. Telescope would likely be the second one. And then obviously Completion. Tree Sitter's another one you can't really live without anymore. Like I can't personally. Let's see. Which key I like too. Those are kind of the only ones that are like truly necessary. Like everything else you could like totally get rid of. That wouldn't be that big of a deal. Let's see. Any plans on tab 9? I don't like the tab 9 has to phone home to work. I really don't like my editor reaching out to the internet to do things. And I'm pretty sure tab 9 does that. Transparency for LV. My terminal is transparency for artwork in the background. Shouldn't that still just be terminal stuff? Why would that matter? Like mine turns off, right? Like if I go like over here, you can still see through everything, right? It turns off when I do this, or whoops, I just created another terminal. But if it turns off when I open NVim, but the only reason it does that is because if you go into config, pcom, and then pcom.conf, and down here, I just make sure that the opacity rule is any single time that NVim is open, it goes to 100, because I personally don't like to see my background when I'm editing text, especially when it's like a very cluttered background. But I guess maybe if you have a clean background, then it's probably not that bad of a thing. But yeah, I mean, like, why wouldn't you just do something like this, and then like maybe we'll set this to like 80 or something. I don't know if you use a compositor. And then if I do that, look at that. That's kind of cool. And it's cool. I get why you like it, right? Like, you know, like we could do, and then let's go open up some code I'm working on. What's well, the one that I use, the one that I always use is my blog. I feel like, let's see, source. Yeah, it's kind of neat. Like, I get it. I understand the want to have like this cool background while you're editing text. It definitely looks cool for pictures. But if you're asking me, like, that's how I would personally do it. Let's go back into pcom, and let's open pcom, and let's jump to the bottom, and let's change this. We'll do maybe the rest of the stream with it at 90 and see if we like. 90 still feels like very transparent. Let's do 95. Yeah, that's something. Okay. Sure. Get rid of that. Okay. Went over that. Transparency. Where is shortcuts? What do you mean by shortcuts? If only Telescope was faster. I think it is faster now. I think there is something faster about it, but I haven't looked at it in a while. It seems to be fast enough for me. Jose, man, I'm trying to install LunarVim. I can't but I want. Can you give me advices? Well, I mean, without knowing your situation, I don't really know what roadblocks you have. I recommend asking in the Discord. Sometimes I answer very lately. I haven't been because I've been moving apartments and stuff, so yeah. Why do you use Telescope and not FZF, or does I miss something here? You does miss something here. Telescope is really cool, and it's new, and it's written in Lua, and by one of the core Neovim devs, TJ, and I like investing in plugins that I think are going to do really, really well in the future, even if they aren't the fastest now. And I think Telescope it does so many things, so I really like Telescope. I've got a slideshow of a few thousand images I like. Yeah, right. I do too. I know what you mean. Like, because like you could do something like this and then like that, and then we could like open it up, and then you could like swap between pictures in the background. So like, yeah, I understand. Anyway, and then I'll sit here like for a while, like trying to pick one that I like. Anyway, this one's kind of cool. So why, yep, we went over that. I mean, default plugin shortcuts. A lot of, well, so what I would do is, if you're trying to figure out how plugins work, first of all, go read the docs on it and all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't want to tell you to RTFM, but, probably should. Anyway, but the other thing is, usually they'll be under something. Like Telescope does this, right? And then, like, notice how, like, if I just do T, I have so many things. I just press tab. All these things are here, and they're from different plugins. And then if I go like this, I can do Telescope, and then that'll come up, and then I can press tab again, and here are all the things that Telescope can do. And so if I was looking for color schemes or whatever, then I would do that. And then, okay, which color scheme do I want? Maybe we want to do one dark, and now we're over in one dark world. And yeah, so like all of your plugin stuff is usually right there. So you can always just do that. And then we can open up something and see if this color scheme even still looks good. I actually need to merge some stuff fixing some color schemes. So yeah, that's my thing. Go to definition and other stuff, same thing, right? So you would just do blah, 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 init, lua, or anything, and just do LSP. And there you go. Like, here's all the LSP things you can do. Like, go to next, hover. There you go. There's like the hover, just like that. I don't use a compositor. I found a hack that works, found an element matrix group. Interesting. If you have a really good hack, put a PR in. And if it works well, I don't know how cluttered it is, but again, I usually just do things either through the compositor, or the terminal, or something. It just doesn't feel like the thing that Neovim should care about, but you might be right. I don't know. Does anyone have problems with definition preview in JavaScript or LSP Saga? Because I do, and I miss it a lot. Let me see. Before I go back and start doing more things. Repo. What the hell am I doing? That's not what I wanted to do. Lunar, no, let's do blog, let's do source, components, header, blah, 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 blah. Kind of gives me, is that what you mean by, like, did you ask for hover? I forget what you asked. Or definition preview. So things like, I don't know, what would be one, like these things, like this kind of stuff. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. Ranger loads slow for me. Any alternatives? Yeah, there's a million out there. You should check them out. They're like NNN is one, top of my head. Yeah, I've seen this before. Is LunarVim a Neovim fork? No, it's just kind of like my config that is somewhat popular, I guess. Check out Moonlight color theme. Link it in Discord. I could probably check it out there. Dracula. I don't know if I have Dracula. I might. One dark's good. Hello, Arthur. You're Brazilian. Just got to know my channel. Found it sensational. Here in Brazil, there's lots of content in the area. Really? In like the Neovim area or the Lua area? I forget where. I forget, Lua is either, it's done in some, it was made by someone, I forget who it was. I don't know if they were Brazilian or if they were something. I don't know where they were from, but yeah. Someone told me that it was from some South American country that they developed Lua, I think. You can do telescope, but then I'll give you telescope menu, available telescope options. Yes. If you want transparency, you could do that too, yeah. If you want transparency and Vim blur as well, yeah, sounds like a lot of work. Is there LSP for Markdown? Not that I know of. A little bit off topic, if you looked at OniVim 2, combining Vim style modal editing with some blah 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 and modern editors. Yeah, I've looked at OniVim 2. I've seen it for a while, but it's been in development for all of my life. And I would have to pay for it, and I'm not doing that. How do you, unless he wants to give it to me for free, and then I'll check it out. And I'll do a video on it. But if he doesn't want to do that, then I'm not too interested. How do you get the startup dialog styled file chooser? This is called NVim dashboard. So just look up NVim dashboard. Cool. How tightly is Packer integrated into LunarVim? Would it be easy to replace it? Yeah, maybe you want to use a, what's it called, like PAQ or something like that. It wouldn't be that hard. Because it's not that hard, right? It's just... the hard part would be... there's only one file that really cares about Packer, and it's this one, right? So what you would do, as guy who wants to change this, just replace this file. That's really it, right? And then just make sure that you use a different one in init.lua instead of plugins. Yeah, like instead of this one, actually, I mean, you can just continue to call it plugins, and then just change this whole file to use a different one. So yeah, it wouldn't be that hard. Hi, I'm Rebuilt. Oh, Rebuilt, what's up, dude? You've done a lot of good things for this. What are my future plans for LunarVim? Do you like where it's at now? There's a lot of things I want to do for it. Okay, so my future plans are this. Like in a perfect world where I didn't have to work at Comcast every day. What I would do is LV settings, right? For instance, would be way more fleshed out. So I would pick out like all of the most bare bones best plugins, right? And they would all be purely configured here, and I would write a nice wiki on how to do that so that anyone could just come in here and just toggle on and off anything that they want and have a whole list of different things that they can turn on and off here, and then they could just read the wiki for the stuff that they want to do. They probably wouldn't even need to write their own config. And then, you know, pick your own color scheme, install your own color schemes or whatever. I would also want more like declarative stuff in here. So like maybe a list of like other plugins that you would load. So like you might just have something like this, like plugins, right? And then like set it equal. In my mind, I forget kind of how like Lua tables work because I haven't written Lua in a minute. But like you'd have something like this, and then you'd have like plugins, and then you would just pass it like a string, and then just be like LSD blah 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 ISDF by SDF, and then that plugin would come in too, and then you'd have that, and then the next thing I would do is something for which key stuff. So I would like put the which key like I don't know what you call it. You just call it like which key or something like that, right? And you would do this, and then you would just pass it like L equals blah blah blah, and then that's like overrides, right? And so like LO would be like blah blah blah, right? So those are things I would like to do, the plugins, and make this like super good, and then maybe do something where like enable layers for languages, something like that, like enable or install the Python layer or something. This is further ahead, but then after you do that, then you would have access the O object, because the O object is cool with this because you do have all the things. Like they're right here, you can autocomplete them if you have the Lua thing installed, right? So it's like really easy to like, if you want to like turn stuff on and off for Python, yeah, you just do this, like analysis, okay, auto search path. What can it be? It's a Boolean, right? And then set it equal to true, right? And then that's it, right? So that's something I'd want to do. Then what I would have is like the really big, and I gotta get more bare bones, the base stuff, but I'm kind of lazy. So I would have this top thing like super bare bones, and then have these other ones as like things, maybe not just under extras, maybe like you'd be able to like enable all different kinds of plugins. Like you'd just be able to pick through the list of like plugins you want to turn on. I think that'd be cool too. Anyway, those are a couple ideas that I have. Yeah. So let's see. Does running multiple LSP server have stress on machine or LSP servers actual servers? Or just like exec the binary for response? So it's like a server that you run locally and then you communicate between, like that server is running. Like for instance, like let's go to .local share and Vim LSP install, because that's where a lot of these binaries live, right? And then you come in here and then we'll do I gotta remember like how to like start them. Some of them are easy and some of them aren't. Like for, I think I have the bash language server. It's just not in the top of my head. A lot of the HTML. So like, okay, for instance, another thing in here, a lot of them like are in node modules and then sneakily in like .bin or something, or maybe somewhere else. Let's go into TypeScript. There's no dot in here. I don't know, lib. There's nothing in here. There's usually some bin folder. I usually remember them being in node modules and like dot. Oh wait, maybe it's in this. There's something promising in server, or maybe not. So I don't know. There's like a .js in here somewhere, right? So a lot of people are like, well, I don't like the language servers because a lot of them are written in Node. They don't have to be written in Node. It's just that a lot of people write them in Node. You could just write it in a totally other language if you really wanted to, right? But what you would do is like if you had the HTML one, you would do like Node and then like HTML lang server, right? Now that would like start something up, right? Like here. And it would say like, okay, thing is running. And then it would just communicate between this thing and Neovim, right? Like in the background. So that's basically all that is. Actually, you can see what a lot of them are. All right, now that it's coming back to me. You can see that in Lua, LSP. And then we'll open up, like for instance, bash. And so it's in LSP install bash node modules. See how I was talking about .bin, and then bash language server, and then you just pass that start. So here is a binary that you start in the background, and then Neovim just attaches to it, and then you can do li, and you can see all the ones it's attached to. Like for instance, init.lua is started right now. It started with this command, so you know where it's pointing to. It's pointing to .local share nvim lsp install lua init.lua server blah 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 blah, and then yeah, like that's basically, that's kind of how that works. So now a lot of people, again, they have an issue. Oh, they're all written in Node. They don't have to be written in Node. There's just JavaScript developers are way more how do I put this? Like they write a lot more code than everybody else does. You know, people like to throw a lot of shade on JavaScript developers and JavaScript development in general, but there's a lot of, just because it's not a great language for everything doesn't mean that most people aren't pumping out a lot of things that people use in it. It's obviously not ideal, but it's just the language that everybody knows right now, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, dual Kawasi. Yeah, I think I could add that. Depends what fork you have of PCOM though. hold this. Maybe I'll do it. Whatever. I'll give it a shot. It's my first live stream in a while, so I might as well just kind of do whatever. I'm probably going to do some gaming streams too in the future with my brother. There will definitely be more crypto content, whether people like it or not. But did that blur things? I don't know. Let's go see. Does that feel blurred to you? That doesn't feel super blurred to me. Maybe a little, I don't know. How to make NVIM tree refresh after creating a file. I think I noticed that problem recently. Let me check and see if that's an issue still. Wow, there's like 70 something concurrent viewers. I'm surprised like 70 people are tuning in for this. It's always funny too because it's like 73 people, 75 people are watching, and then it's like only like 5 people are commenting in the chat. pcom.conf, and if I come in here and I press A and then I add asdf.t, wow, yeah, txt. I don't know, that just kind of showed up. One thing you could do is probably like close it and reopen it, and then I think capital R does stuff. Can I do this? No. Okay, no, that won't do anything. There's also NVIM tree refresh right here, so you could just do that if it's not showing up. Yes, remove that. So those would be my things. So I would like run the command, and then I would probably just update NVIM tree because it looks like it updated pretty fast for me and just worked. So anyway. I have someone's pcom thing. Mock ls installed progs, then we'll pipe that into fcf, and then pcom. That's the pcom I have. So yeah, should work, right? Let's see. You should add checks to your thing in case Python isn't. I should. Yeah, that's another thing I totally should do. And then just like kind of elegantly fail. But I don't have that right now. Again, because unfortunately I have to work. Yes, running multiple LSP servers will use CPU. It depends on the file size and code compilations. Well, yeah, of course it'll use CPU. It's, again, like it's on your system. It's not like reaching out to the internet or something. What's up, Kelly Jack? Yeah, I haven't been on in a while. You think 0.5 is a disaster? They cannot release stable. Telescope, it searches only within screen, but there are more items. That is something I've noticed. I feel like sometimes with Telescope, I feel like I should be able to like go up. Like let's go inside here, for instance, and then we'll do this, and then let's do search text or something, and then if I search for like require or readme, let's see if I can go up. See, I don't like that I can't go up. I know there's way more RE, but this is all it gives me is inside this window, and that's, I feel like there should be like a scroll feature or something, right? Like it narrows down, like if I start to type require, I'll get all these requires, but it's only going to give me a handful of requires as far as I understand. So that's not even all the requires, right? So that's not ideal. They cannot release stable. Yeah. Yeah, they are having an issue with that. I don't know how long that's going to take. It'll probably come out sometime around like December this year. I was thinking about Linux had that refresh tree issue. Is there key binding mapping to toggle Ranger? For me, there is, yeah. So you can do this, and then you could just do I think it's just the minus sign, and then it'll open stuff up. The lurkers are here. Yeah. Well, there's less now. I scared like 10 people away saying that. Let's see. I didn't know you needed the AUR version. My bad. Oh, for something else. Someone said that to someone. How can I swap caps and escape? This is how I do that on Linux. X profile, jump to the bottom, this guy right here. Do that. And you can swap caps with escape, because I use caps as escape. Another question, does this language server picks up package-specific syntax? Say I install my system Python 3 modules with pip 3. It'll pick up that unless you're in a virtual environment, and then it'll pick up the virtual environment. But that's more of a question for it's more of a question for the language server itself, I feel like, in a lot of cases. Can I propose something for a SQL client in Vim? I don't really use Vim for a lot of SQL, so I doubt that. Also, just have idea, can you put all LSP stuff running in a single Docker container? Yeah, you probably could. TJ said it's a thing they're working on. It's an issue with Lua tables. Okay. I've got a... Folk survival's lurking. I've got a randomized header for dashboard, stole the time-based randomizer from a Neovim plugin. That's pretty cool. All right, so let's go look at more things to merge to get things right. I can't even keep up with these issues, man. Like, there's just too many issues. Like, this is a good issue. Yeah, I wish. That's all I got for you. Like, there's just so many problems that I don't even know if they're problems. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to keep up with these things because a lot of them aren't like really problems. Like, what's this one? My own Neovim config I was working on before LSP broke me. I switched to LunarVim. I wrote my own use function in use, which called use and then called require. There was something. Yeah. Like, see, like, there's these very long things, and there's like 96 issues, and it's like a ton of stuff to like keep up with when I'm working on like a ton of different projects. So the issues, like, at best, I can keep my eye on them, but like, there's no way I'm gonna sit here and like go through 100 things or whatever. I kind of need people. There's gonna come a time where I just go through here and just close everything and then try to like do things again. But people need to like close their own issues if there are issues that can be closed and stuff like that. And then also, like, there's no way I'm going to be able to close 100 different types of issues and stuff like that, you know, unless someone pays me a salary to keep LunarVim completely up to date. Add NVim last place. Let's see here. Why? It looks like we're adding NeoGit. Some other stuff is changing in plugins. There's also NeoMux coming in. And some random thing. It kind of looks like a sofa. It says comfy. You're gonna have to slim this guy down. This is more than just last place. Also, try to add in extras. Yeah. Okay. Where did I go? Why I clicked something? Vim SaneGX, tiny plugin which deals with NetRW problems. What kind of problems? 465 is the referenced issue. Okay, there's a screen recording here. He clicks, goes somewhere. He clicks, goes nowhere. Oh, go to file. Not working when paths aren't relative? Oh. When paths aren't relative? Oh, so like OS blah blah blah. Or oh, okay. So you would expect that to work. And then our Chad friend Rebuilt may have an answer to this. PF with GX and GF. All right. Maybe I should just went back twice. Okay, I mean, if it fixed that, then let's see. What'd you do? You got rid of this. Okay. Pulled this in. And got rid of that. All right. We'll see how it does. Added basic plugin use load require function. Oh goodness. All right. Use maker takes packers use and returns a function. Let's see what changed. Is there lots of change? Seems to be lots of change. Which I just added a bunch of shit, which is not good for this because of that. This looks like it's probably cool though. What's this big use? This looks cool. I may have to... Looks like this might be a better choice. What is this? I merged this a while ago and it broke a lot of things Rebuilt. I'm sorry about that. So I had to kick it out. But I would love to bring this back in if... Yeah, I would love to bring this thing back in if you can get it working again, though. Especially if it speeds things up. So we're gonna shelf the other one for now. See if there's anything said here. Yeah, Dadbot is one. Do I use Vim for debugging? Yeah, I mean, kind of sometimes. It depends what I'm debugging. Be honest, it's impossible. Plugins break and change behavior all the time. What, to use this? No, I mean, I use this pretty much all the time. I don't really run into that many problems. I usually notice that things get better for the most part. There is the occasional bug, though, which is kind of the, you know, it's just what we have to live with. But I'm definitely never going back to, like, IntelliJ or something like that. There's no chance. Is there any use case where you don't use Vim or Neovim over an IDE? Where I don't? If I want to run Java unit tests, I use VS Codium usually. All right, so you should set up issue templates and labels. Yes, I should. There are a lot of issues that can be closed. I'm gonna have to go back and close like the first like 70 issues. And then just let people open up. I mean, it just sucks, but it's like, what am I going to do? Like, it's just too many things, and I can't keep on top of it all the time. Because I have like 50 other projects I'm working on. Some people need to go to the plugins issue page instead, to be honest. Yeah, they do. Some people need to realize it's an issue with the plugin. There's few issues with, like, here's the thing. If I can start NVim and it just works for me. There's probably usually not a problem with the LunarVim, the LunarVim config, right? There's probably, and that's why I look at a lot of these things like, it's really a problem with the plugin. You should probably go talk to whoever is working on the plugin. But yeah. The debugging question, a lot of the debugging stuff, I will use print statements up until I can't use print statements, right? For pretty much everything. And I don't care what you say, that works amazing for me all the time and debugs literally 95% of everything I've ever had an issue with. And I've been programming professionally for, or at least programming big projects for at least 4 to 5 years now. And that's been working for me. And I work with projects that are really, really big too. There are times though where it's useful to use some sort of like debugger or something like that. I don't know. I mean, you could try the debugger. I don't know. Debuggers are like kind of a pain in the ass too. It depends. Usually, if you're in this space, we just don't really have debugging solved yet. Hey Chris, it's nice to see you back. I've been using the global install we did with my work colleagues. Would love to finish it off. I'll try to connect with you on Matrix if I get it sometime soon. Yeah, definitely. I remember I did a stream where we got that working pretty close. A few things have changed. If you look at the thing I have now, that mostly gets there, but obviously we want to be able to like add a whole new directory. A lot of the stuff that you were doing was a lot more sophisticated, so that'd be cool if we could get that working. Have I tried Qt Browser? I don't have time to try all these things. I am going to be working on a website called Alt Tech or something like that, or Alternative Technology or something, where I'm gonna like like if you ever heard of Alternative 2, right? I'm going to be working on a site like that, but instead, like Alternative 2 will also give you options, like if you want to use like Windows or if you want to use like some software that's not good. The spin on this site will be that it's only for free and open source stuff, and then people can like contribute to the repo when they find like a new good project that comes out for like chat or like searching or like whatever else. Keep up the good work with the channel and more videos about ZSH and Neovim plugins. I will definitely also be doing more. Once Neovim 0.5 comes out, I'm going to do the whole series over again. And then I do need to make one on ZSH as well, because I have a pretty savage ZSH config. Did you debug JavaScript on the? I don't know. I don't know what you mean by that. I feel like you missed a couple words there, but potentially. At Elmer, blah, blah, blah. I'm using Qt right now. Yeah, I don't know about that. .NET is supported. I think it is. You can look into something. I think it's called Omni. No, not Omni. It's called something. I forget what it's called. I totally forget what it's called for the C# one. To write HTML, there's a good program, Dreamviewer. Why would you use... I don't know. What's good about Dreamviewer for HTML? Like, why can't you do like thing.html and then just do like HTML snippet and then have an HTML snippet and then do like, I don't know, like div dot my class, right? And then you could do, I think I used to have a thing where Emmet worked. Emmet should still work. I can't believe Emmet doesn't work right now. Oh, there you go. Yeah, and then Emmet works, and then you can just do this. Or you could just do like A and get a snippet and get like the href or whatever. I guess Dreamviewer does some extra stuff that maybe I don't know about, but I can't imagine needing... I guess if you're doing some complicated HTML stuff. Let's see, slower, but if you're going to go that complicated, why not just use like some sort of big framework or something? Slower startup, but even 10 seconds because it's cute, yeah. Do you use a terminal email client like Mutt or just a GUI app like Thunderbird or a browser for webmail? Right now I use Proton Mail, so I use this one called, it's an Electron app, Electron Mail locally. I don't use Mutt or anything like that. I thought about it, but again, I don't have too much time to do all that kind of stuff. Let's see. So, good night, random person. What do I think about Rust? It's a programming language that people use, I guess. There goes me getting pings from Discord. There's a there's Mutt. You can go look at Luke Smith's Mutt thing. He's got like a whole wizard for it. It's just that you know what? I don't use email that often. Like, I just don't give a damn about my email. Like, if I have email, it's because like I'm getting like food ordered or something. Like, who communicates over email? You know, there's text, there's SMS, like there's all these new things, and people are still emailing. There's Matrix. You can communicate over Matrix. I guess if you want to keep like a mailbox somewhere, like it's still kind of useful. But like, there's nothing I ever get in an email that I mean, I understand the idea that you don't want people collecting your data, not because of a privacy thing, but just because, like, screw you, like, you have enough data, I don't want to be part of your data farm. But, like, the stuff that, like, they're getting from my email is probably so incredibly, horribly boring to where it's just like, you know, wow, I ordered a cheesesteak today or something stupid, you know? We need bash rewrite in Rust. Yeah, we're going to get everything rewrite in Rust. Any new tools I've discovered in the last couple months? I'll maybe do a thing on that later. Full proper, I think this is debug adapter support, can't come sooner. It's basically LSP for debugging. Yeah, I expect to come. 1.5 is like the official one. I expect a lot of development to come for these kinds of things. Do I use COC snippets? I use vsnip and friendly snippets. I don't use COC at all. Did you guys know some plugin for... I don't really care about that one. I don't really care too much about QBrowser, to be honest. I use like LibreWolf and Brave, and that's it. I don't know what AERC is. College uses lots of email. Well, I'm not in college anymore, and I recommend... College is stupid and dumb. Honestly, college is just for... Yeah, it's like, it sucks because when you're young you're naive, so it's like you don't know that like college is, I guess if you have a lot of money, college makes sense, or if like it's very cheap, or if you have a free ride. But it's just such a waste of 4 to 5 years of your life, because you don't learn anything useful. Just if you did like 4 years of boot camps, it would probably cost less and you'd be a better software developer for whatever role you're likely going to get in life. Could you integrate LunarVim with Tmux? Probably, but I don't really use Tmux. I use the regular built-in LSP client. That's the one I use. What language do I like the most in terms of programming languages? I hate so many programming languages. There's things I like about different programming languages. There's no language I really like, though. Yeah, I think I hate every programming language I've ever touched. And I've touched a lot. I can program in a good amount of different languages. So, I don't know. If I had to pick a language to program in forever, it would probably be like C or C++. It would probably be C++ just because like it can do basically everything I want it to do. And it would suck, but that's what I would stick with. But if I had to pick like one to work with, like if I had to go to work every day and pick a language, because that's what you'll most likely be doing for the rest of your life, I would rather just program in Python because it's easy and I don't care if it's fast. I hope it's slow, and I hope people who are using my programs, like it's slow for them so that they stop using my programs so I can work less. Corporate work sadly involves a lot of emails. Yes, it does. And I get them all on, at work, I get them all on like Microsoft email, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then we also use Teams and Slack and all different other kinds of stupid things that are not important. Hey, are there any plugins for org mode and NVim? I think there is one. Is this the year you get into deep learning? This is the year to get into blockchain development, dude. I'm telling you. And also deep learning. Both of them are good. But blockchain development, just keep an eye on it. You get paid $300 a month to go to college in Sweden? Yeah, but did Sweden, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if free stuff is a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know if incentivizing people to go to college is a good thing or a bad thing, because I feel like if you incentivize people to go to college, like if you're getting that money to go do something, that means someone wants you to do it. And you can think that that somebody either wants your country to be better and wants a bunch of smart people in your country, or you can think that someone wants to make sure that everybody is learning the curriculum that they want you to learn, which may also be a bad thing. So I don't ever know if an incentive like that is good or bad. But I do know that paying, $80,000 in America is dumb stupid, and you should just start a YouTube channel where you code and take like 2 boot camps and then be a professional programmer by 20. Anyway, do I use Galaxy Line? Yes, I do. Is there a way to evade the bar thingy to not be an NVIM tree? Not that I know of, but I'm sure there is a way. Crystal, use Rust. It's fast. I'm sure it's fast, but I don't feel like adding another language to like the languages I use every day. Do I use a utility to sync my dot files with other computers? Yes, I use GNU Stow, and you can check out mock files on my GitHub to see what I do with that. How did I get started with Solidity? How do you get started with Solidity with no coding experience? What should I go with first? Learn JavaScript and Solidity. That's what you should be learning. First, learn. This is the. Yes, it is. I'm going to get back to this in a second. But how do I get started with Solidity with no coding experience? What should I do first? Learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Learn all those. Build yourself some basic portfolio websites. Just build yourself a bunch of stupid HTML, simple, dumb JavaScript websites, right? Then I would even recommend going through the blockchain thing I just did. What was it called? Crypto Zombies. After you're good at JavaScript and stuff, right? Because writing smart contracts, nobody gives a shit. It doesn't matter. Smart contracts, by the way, it's not like people are like constantly like working, like maybe a few people are, but usually you'll like write a simple smart contract or something like that, and that's like, it takes like 5 seconds. And then the hard part is making like a very handsome website and marketing it to people. So learn JavaScript, CSS, and all that kind of stuff first, and then like slowly work in Solidity. Don't learn any other programming languages while you're doing this, because your scope will blow up like insanely when you're trying to learn how to do things. Is this the Atlassian Confluence hate group? We use Confluence, we use Jira, we use all that stuff at work, and I hate it. It's garbage. People pay for these corporate licenses, I guess, so I guess they got to get their money's worth. We have a new thing called Yammer or something like that. It's like basically like corporate Facebook. I as an employee, I love it, but it's, whatever. Integrated Lua JIT is to Neovim as eList biz to Emacs. Yeah, basically. I don't know if how true that is, but I know it's basically, you could definitely say this, and it's mostly true. At least 90% true. Lua JIT, the just-in-time compiler guy, will turn Neovim into an operating system like Emacs. In some ways, I hope it does. In some ways, I hope it doesn't. But I do think it's going, like, you're going to see Neovim. It's going to be super powerful, even with all the bugs and stuff. What's up, Kyle? My only mod. Have I covered MLS in here in another vid? I just was doing that like a second ago. 1 second. NVim thing.html, and we will delete it, and then we'll come in here, we'll just give us a thing, and then we'll, whoopsie daisy, yeah, gen, okay, that's, yeah. Then, let's get rid of that, 1 sec. HTML, where's my snippet? Thank you. So do like div dot and then thing. Now the hard part is that right now it does that still, because this is still in a snippet, so it's gonna like take me to all the things. Now once that's done, I'll be able to do this, and I see how that's kind of like a pain in the ass, right? Because like it doesn't know that it's out of snippet mode when I created that, which kind of makes sense because you probably should give it a title first. So like if I was to do that, because like for instance, if I go like this and I do like, damn it, HTML5 blah blah blah, and then I press this, and I give it a title, and then I press this, and then it's href, and then I think I should be done now. So now if I do div dot and then my class, and then it's kind of a pain in the ass, but it does work. I also would like it if it put me in the middle of the things like that. So yeah. And then I think you can do like multiple and then like different things. I think you do like hashtag. I don't really know Emmet that well, but I just know that this is what I use it for. I don't use it for anything more than this. Like if I do div dot t dot a dot b or something, say, then you have like all these different classes that it'll be associated with. That's as far as I take it. I don't do much else with Emmet because everything else I usually just type out. Git plus Gnusto. Yeah, that's what I use. Just blah blah blah. You are so negative, man. I'm extremely negative. I'm very negative about a lot of things, and you should get used to that if you're going to be on my channel during my live streams. What's your profession? I am a software engineer, but I'd rather do a lot of other things. But you know what? No, I like being a software engineer. It's just that sometimes it can get a little boring. University in Germany. Yeah, being a software engineer crushes, actually. I recommend everyone be a software engineer. If you have two skills, if you're above average intelligence and you can deal with being frustrated for like extended periods of time, then you can be a software engineer. University in Germany is as good as free, yes. Yeah, but does anyone give a shit about universities in Germany? Like, does anyone care? What do you use to maintain your notes? I have a blog, and I keep all my notes on my blog, and it's way better than all other note apps, right? So watch this. So if we go to the internet, and we go to my blog, I have BAT hooked up with this, so I make money on it with Brave, right? So when people show up to this blog and they look at things, I get money. And then like you can go under topics, so any topic that I write about, usually it's Neovim. And then all my notes are available for me at any moment, wherever I want to go, and it's all written in Markdown. So this is what I do for notes. I don't use VimWiki or anything else. One Markdown file for a thing that I want under a topic, and that's how I do notes. And this blog is totally open source and available for anyone who wants to use it. See, I'm not that negative. I give away free software. Isn't Lua JIT pretty sketchy when it comes to memory management? It might be, but Lua JIT is really cool. What am I using for HTML? Well, I'm using the VS Code HTML thing. So, like for instance, if you want to do the for LunarVim, damn it, for this LSP install, and then like HTML, just like that, right? What that'll do is, why did I do that? .local share NVim, not Nautilus. And then if you go into LSP install, and then if you go into HTML, this is where that lives. So it's the VS Code HTML is the one that I'm using. At FakeCrafter, you have to pay 100 to 200 euro per semester in Baden-Württemberg. Well, I don't know what. Well, they're imagine holding money in fiat. It doesn't even matter. This could be 100,000 euros or whatever. I think this is the euro symbol, and it won't even matter in the future. How can I stop keystrokes seeing in the bottom right? I don't know what you mean by that. Keystrokes in the bottom, like this stuff here? I don't know what you're talking about. Do that? Okay, I'll try that. Yeah, I've seen that. So let's do... Yeah, that should like create 3 list elements inside of unordered list inside of a div. Okay, so that should do that. I know what they do, I just don't have them like memorized. HTML. No, we want thing.html. HTML, let's get us a nice thing, and we'll do one of these, and blah, 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 blah. Okay. Now we'll do div, this guy, ul, this guy, li, and then we should get 3 of them. I don't know what the $sign's for, though, actually. Okay, it's still going to be a pain in the ass. Doesn't seem to be working. It should just work immediately, but like it doesn't. That works. I don't know what the $ was for, but that works. And then we can format it really fast, and there you go. I hope that's helpful. Ever tried Elm? Never tried Elm. In PR, I don't know where PR is. A semester could be about 2K to 3K cheap or 15K depending on where you're studying. Just don't spend money to go to these places. They suck and they're terrible. Like, if you're already there, finish it out, whatever, get your degree, you know. But if you're new to all this stuff, like, do not go. Like, don't go. Just start a YouTube channel. If you really care about coding, you can start a YouTube channel at like 18, 19. Instead of going to school, do 2 years of like, I literally made a channel with like 11,000 subs now just playing around with a text editor and Linux, right? So if instead, let me tell you this, if instead you grinded LeetCode for 2 years, just crushed LeetCode for 2 full years and made a channel where you just did LeetCode, you'd have a job in like 2 years. You know, like if you finished like 50 LeetCode or 100 LeetCode problems over 2 years, by the time you're 20, you'll have any job you want. Go work at Google, you know, you'll get interviews, you know. So read everything from Martin Fowler, be a good software engineer. Yeah, probably. Martin Fowler's a name that rings a bell, but I'm not 100% certain who he is. Yes, almost any company care about your university. They'll employ you as a bad software developer with not university degree, but then you'll be paid really bad. Yeah, but you could get a job in like 2 years, and once you have a job, no one cares about your college stuff anymore like that. So, by the way, y'all can use Notion, Export MD. I don't know much about that, but that sounds interesting. You want to see DWM and demenurizing? Yeah, I could probably do that in the future. So it's some that work. The $ is an iterator that will generate a number for you. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, maybe that works, and it just didn't work for me, but enough works for me. Again, I use it for classes. I don't really use it for this. Like, if I was gonna like do a list element, I probably would like do a list element, and then I would just like copy and then like maybe just paste it as many times as I wanted it. I don't know what all these equal signs are right now, though. I don't really know where they're coming from. I think they're coming from something else. That's a scam call because 90% of all the calls I get in my life are scam calls now. But I'm interested in the theory of CS. Okay, if you're really interested in the theory of CS, there's so many ways to get that, right? Like, what do you mean? First of all, what do you mean by you're interested in the theory of CS? Like, there's so many subsections and so many different things and so many like things that are computer science to where like there's too much to know. You won't know everything about CS. What you need to do is you need to find subsets of the theory of CS and get really, really, really good at them and just do it like that, in my opinion. I guess there's some people who are quote unquote well-rounded, but there are not many. You can only keep so many things in your head at once anyway. If you can demonstrate experience either by work history or personal projects, and a college degree matters less to employers. Yeah, especially if you have, again, like just start a YouTube channel where you just crush LeetCode problems and you'll have a job in 2 years. Hey, I'm new to your Neovim config, and I don't really know Lua, but I want to switch from VS Code to Neovim, and I'm a full stack dev. So for mobile, is there any Docker vid I can watch to guide me? What I recommend doing is try to install it fresh, and like with the stuff in the read, just read the README, and try to build your own Neovim config so you kind of understand what's going on with it all, and then go from there. That would be my recommendation. Have I tried RoFi? Yes, but I've got rid of like a lot of stuff that I don't need, and I don't really need RoFi, so I just use this, and it has all the things that I need. If I start typing like whatever I want to get, like if I start typing Brave. But the other best thing about this is I have key bindings for things that I use very often, so just like that, for instance, we'll just open up Brave or something will just open up a terminal really fast. So like I don't really need like a launcher when like a key launches everything that I need. There's no need to know Lua for Neovim. There's not, but it certainly helps. Yeah, go buy a copy of Sedgwick, for instance. Yeah, like go. I mean, you got to be smart if you're gonna read through that book though, and glean anything useful from it. I understand the concept of wanting a good professor, but the problem with professors is so many of them don't care. The class has like 300 people. You're one of 300 people, and like you can show up like maybe you could talk to a TA or something. I don't know. Like looking back on college, okay, there's this theory someone brought up with that I work with, and like you have two concepts of like how you treat populations, and you can treat them as pets or you can treat them as cattle, right? And your pet, you take them for walks. You buy them toys, you give them a lot of love and affection, you pet them, whatever, right? And that's how you treat a pet. And then how you treat cattle is, you brand them and they live in a big pen and you don't care what they're doing day to day and you eat them, right? So, and if one of them died, you would like give your pet a burial. You'd put it in a nice box and put it under a tree, right? But if a cattle died, you'd be like, all right, just, pick them up and throw them and turn them into meat or something, right? You wouldn't care. So college is treating you a lot more like cattle, right? Like if you decide to like drop out like sophomore year, right? There's not going to be a teacher who like gives a damn, right? Like you're just going to drop out and no one's going to care. They don't treat you like pets there. They treat you more like cattle, right? So if you could find a world where like some like really master computer scientist will sit down with, and who still can remember all of his data structures and stuff like that, will sit down with something like Sedgwick, like the book with you or something like that, that would be priceless. Like if you had a mentor or a very small group of people in a college and then like a very interested professor, maybe that would be worth it. But it just isn't like that anymore. You think university can teach you about critical thinking? I think the critical thought you should be having is if you're spending like $50,000 a year or something like that, then you didn't critically think, right? Maybe if you're going for free, yeah, sure, but assume a normal person can pick that up by themselves. Again, I think we just set low expectations for people. I think everything's on the internet, and you can really learn pretty much everything. Yeah, like MIT OpenCourseWare exists. Like you can do that. It's definitely scarier though. So let's see. Yeah, the README might be useful. It might be worth it to go. Yeah, Derek Bonas, like if you want to learn like a language like dumb quick and you already understand programming in general, just check out that guy's videos and you'll learn whatever language you need to learn in like 2 days. Which is that window manager? It's DWM. There is a Neovim setting or maybe a config called mvim chad completely configured in Lua. Pretty cool stuff. I think I saw mvim chad. I think I've like had small interactions with I think the guy who made it on Reddit. He seems like a good guy. I don't care if there's competition. Like literally you could totally fork LunarVim and do anything you want with it or take whatever inspiration. I'm sure if I saw something in there that I really liked, I would take it and steal it for me. Yeah, DWM. So Nano Tree. Yeah, the Lua guide is good too. I actually did use that when I was learning it. Yeah, a good amount of people, like if you join a community, for instance, right? Like an online community, people I guess don't know these exist, but like online communities where people program and stuff, that's very useful. Colleges these days destroy critical thinking. That's big true. That's my theory. Like you're just put into this box, you're a cattle in a box, you have to take these classes, this class, this class, this class. You don't like choose the classes you want to take and like I don't know. And you know what college and school does too? It discourages failure. Like if you fail something, like you feel stupid. But you should you should like have this idea that you constantly want to fail. I feel like always be failing. Like if you get an F, you're like awesome. There's like 50% more shit that I needed to know and I don't know it. But college, if you get a 50, you're like crying and you're like, oh, I'm gonna die, and my parents like, oh, I spent all this money and I'm an idiot. So do you have any deeper insights into when 0.5 will finally drop? No, but you can probably ping TJ in my server and he'll probably give you just as vague an answer. Someone with concentration issues. Maybe you got a good professor. Maybe you do. But there's from my experience with a ton of people that I've talked to, and you know what? Maybe college would be good for a couple courses, right? Like maybe you go to a couple courses in college. You just pick up a couple courses because like they're really good with professors. So like that's a reason to go to. The degree is broken, right? Like a college should be it should be like a la carte, right? Like a la carte is this concept where like you have a thing and you just take all the stuff that you want and leave out the stuff that you don't want, right? So you go there and you're like, okay, I want to learn data structures. That's not really something I want to do on my own. I want to go do that in like a structured environment. So let me go do that in school, right? And so maybe that would be worth it, especially for like smaller courses or something, I think. Personal skill, not all people have. Some people need mentoring. I think mentoring is great. It's just, I like I said, though, I think a lot of more people are treated like cattle in college than they are like pets, or they're not mentees, essentially, for the most part. Well, thanks for fence sitting here, Ashkin. I used to love programming and used to do it in my free time. 2 years into college, stopped caring about it. Yeah, because it's an overload. Like you're just forced to do it all the time. The college level CS culture is also toxic, cultish. If you suck, you get ragged on, and it's still the idea that you'll never get a job. Yeah, I don't know. I was good in college for the most part. But then again, I got an electrical engineering degree, and now I'm like a software engineer. So. I know people who are like biology majors and then they became software engineers. And everyone wants to be a software engineer, by the way, now. So watch out, because a lot of people noticed that during the pandemic, software engineers were, not only did they get paid way more than everybody else, but now they could do it in their boxers and socks, sitting at home, eating cereal and hanging out with their dog. And then everyone else is just like dying in masks at work. And like it sucks, and then they get told that they're like hero workers or something like that, and then they get like paid nothing. So like everyone wants to come work from home, and the top work from home jobs are computer science. And you don't have to be that smart to like get in and like do some of the stuff these days. It's like setting up a microservice is not hard. Yeah, that's true. Concepts of real-time embedded system to structure your app architecture. It depends if I'm interested in a course or not. Sometimes I had to take courses that I totally wasn't interested in, and it was a waste of my time, the professor's time, everybody's time, because at that moment I didn't give a shit about it, Like, I just really didn't care. I really wanted to take a different course, but I couldn't because I had to take this course, or I had to take like some culture course to round out whatever. Who cares, right? And it's just a cash grab. Like, oh, here, pay $5,000 for this movie course where it's like culture and movies, and it's just like, why am I paying $5,000 for this course again? Why am I not graduating a whole year earlier to be making a good salary out of college? Like, what is this for? So it's obviously a scam to steal your money. I mean, get real. Like a lot of them are. Like someone mentioned up there, it's a business. Online courses, yeah, definitely. I recommend, seriously, what do you want to learn coding for? Are you already rich and don't give a shit about anything? Then learn code however you want, right? You could learn code outside while someone feeds you grapes, and you never even have to make anything, and you could just build whatever you want and do whatever. All right, so most people don't want to learn code for that reason. They want to learn code so they can get a job, get out of debt really fast, and not be forever poor, right? So if you want to do that, then what I recommend doing is even if you're going to go to college, just grind leak code like crazy. Always be grinding leak code. Just leak code until you get the job, and then never do leak code again because it's not useful at all for your job. But it will get you a lot of jobs, right? So just lots and lots of leak. And I don't care, hacker rank, whatever, just do leak code or hacker rank, but don't mix and match. Just pick one thing and just do a ton of it. If you got to go to college, but go to the cheapest college ever, because then that piece of paper will guarantee you, if you are crushing leak code and then also you have the piece of paper, dude, you're going to command like way over six figures, you know, like not like way into six figures, but you'll be making over 100K like in your 20s if you can do those two things. That's I guess if that's what you're doing it for. What's my experience with giving job interviews? I've never given a job interview. I've only been in the industry for like 3 years. Why do I hate college so much? Because it's a scam. That's why. Does that also mean software engineer also have a low threshold? There's so many different types of software engineers. There's like embedded software engineers. There's platform devs. There's people who are just really good at AWS. There's like infrastructure as code now. There's CI/CD stuff that kind of like commingles with platform stuff with like IAC. There's Docker, containerizations, all that stuff, again, mingles in that area, which we call like DevOps now, right? But then there's all different kinds of ops now, just to like give people titles. There's like GitOps and DevOps and all kinds of different ops stuff or whatever. Then there's just like traditional programming. And if you're doing traditional, just regular types of programming, like if you're programming, then you're usually doing things like microservices, serverless architecture, stuff like Lambdas and things like that, or like Spring Boot in terms of Java or Flask, whatever, Django. This is like back-end programming, right? And where you're just going to be writing code all day. All of it requires a different type of skill. Like a software engineer who's really good at the DevOps stuff, that's someone who can like architect systems in their mind and understands how to make things scale. But someone who's just writing like a microservice and just implementing the business logic, that takes a totally different kind of skill where your algorithms might be important, right? There's unicorns in the industry, but not a ton. And in the future, you're gonna. A lot of people scammed people into thinking everyone's supposed to be like a full stack developer, and being a full stack developer just means like, okay, I don't have to pay for an entire team because this guy's like willing to kill himself by learning every single piece of the stack and not being as good about it as if like everybody had their own separate thing. But also for front end developers, you got to be really good at like a totally different skill set, right? Like HTML, CSS, design, right? Making things look nice. You'll have to typically be way more cutting edge. Like if you're a back-end dev, you don't have to be that cutting edge. You kind of just chill, like for the most part. Like you just, like basically if you were a back-end dev, you were like, okay, monoliths, then this microservice craze, now serverless. And then that's kind of like where you're at. Just now you write Lambdas. A second ago you wrote microservices, and before that you wrote one big shitty monolith. If you're a front-end dev, good luck, because there's stuff constantly coming out all the time. And then let's see what else is there. Like I said, the DevOps stuff, there's stuff coming out all the time for that stuff too. That's real hot and moving really fast. Then there's people who, they get into like deep learning, and then there's this new blockchain stuff, which there will be courses for blockchain stuff. They will capitalize on that and make a ton of money. So they will be selling courses to become a blockchain developer, so watch out for that too. I would just learn blockchain development now if you're at all interested. That and like data science already is somewhat like there's a lot of people already in data science and want to be data scientists. Blockchain's still pretty new, and I think there's gonna be a lot of growth there, in my opinion. We were talking earlier about why splits are horizontal by default. It's because monitors were not wide enough. That makes sense, yeah. We forget that Vim is boomer technology. Software engineering does have a low threshold, but there are levels to jobs too. Yeah, that's also true. Like there's really good back-end devs, and there's obviously junior devs. At least with some math and physics, it's very difficult to keep motivation if you do it yourself. Yeah, ask me how often I use physics to like electricity and all that kind of stuff in my day-to-day job as a back-end Java developer. Yeah, never. That's because why would you, right? Like if you want to go learn physics, go learn physics. But it just, again, like F equals MA. Wow, that's super useful for being a back-end dev. I know exactly what you're saying, and I'm coding since 8. Yeah. Yeah, then you get it. You're probably really good at writing code. College does not made me know more, but gave me good references and people. Yeah, it does that too. Giving job interviews, looking for jobs, and being the interviewee. It depends. Okay, so when I interviewed for Lockheed, straight out of college, when I went to go work for Lockheed Martin, I showed up. The guy kind of just was like, we just kind of talked, and it was very chill. I showed up in a suit, like a whole ass suit, and just very stressed and nervous. And we didn't even write any code, and I got the job. I'll even say for how much back then. I got offered around $72,000 because I know that's useful for people to know that, right? Now it's higher. You should expect more from companies like that, especially in like the East Coast area. West Coast area, you should be expecting like way more than that. Then I also interviewed but didn't take the job with QVC. They didn't ask me any coding questions either. They just were like asking me like concepts about code. And then they offered me a job there for around $70K. I interviewed at a bunch of other different places. I don't think I've ever actually failed an interview. Actually, no, recently I did fail an interview, but I'm not going to talk about that one because I failed it. Comcast, I had to whiteboard, and the guy the whole time as I was whiteboarding, he started like erasing the code I was writing. And that was like a nightmare because I was sitting there like solving the problem, and he was like, oh, wait, this one's too easy for you. And then he started erasing it and then like making the problem harder as I was like writing it out on the whiteboard. And I had to do 3, I would say 2 easy leak code level problems and 1 medium level leak code problem at Comcast on a whiteboard. I got the first 2, then I optimized the second one, then the third one started as an easy one, and then the guy started erasing shit, and then I had to do it in a harder way. And then they realized an hour and a half had gone by, and then they were like, all right, let's leave this guy alone. Then I did another interview at Comcast where I just had to do like a palindrome for another team, and they gave me a computer to type it out on, and it was very chill. I just used like string utils in Java. It was extremely easy. That was like the 2 I got both of the job offers, and you can imagine which one I went with. I went with the easy one because that manager wasn't like a psychopath. So yeah, that's my experience with that's a few job interview experiences that I had there. So yeah. Electrical engineering, which I took a chunk of those courses, lots of manual mathy, and not just write, break, debug, try, rinse, and repeat. Yeah, there was tons of math in electrical engineering. It was a good time, though. I actually really enjoyed the school until, it's like you get out and then you realize you don't really use any of it, but you're young and naive, so you think like, oh, yeah, physics is probably really useful for day-to-day work, but it's totally not. Like reading comprehension, that's probably useful. No. Writing technical review essays and stuff like that, is that useful? No, it's not. Those interviews, yeah, the really easy ones are the best to get, but anyway. All right, so that's the end of my rant about interviews in college and stuff like that. Hopefully that's useful for somebody who needed to hear that. I hope they heard that, and they're not going to do any extra nonsense. Let's see. Maybe someone will get a programming job with no debt because of that rant. Removing, and I don't even have that much debt, but I know people who went into like $100K of debt. Like they have $100,000 in debt. Imagine. Removing Python diagnostics. We did that one. We looked at that. That was like a whole mess of PR. Basic plugin, that's like a whole thing. Comp key map. I don't trust this. Is there a reason this does something good? I realize the NVim comp key map is missing. It should be... I'll merge it, but I don't know if I trust it. Correctly require Ethereum plugins. Oh, okay. Oh. Did I do these things wrong? right, well, let's merge this because you're probably definitely correct about that. All right, what else do we got? NVim last place, yep. Added a basic plugin for, yep, we looked at that, I think. Installer, suited for Gentoo. You got a smart guy. I noticed LunarVim didn't have official support for Gentoo. So I modified the installer script with the necessary checks. Hope I'm not forgetting anything. Some info needs to be in the README, blah, blah, blah. Okay. If you're using Gentoo. Mm-hmm. 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 All right. Might as well support Gentoo. Let's see what we got. Simplified tailwinds. Yeah, I think this was broken last time I checked it out. This looks much simpler. Maybe all that stuff's not useful. Potentially, I don't use Tailwind CSS, so I wouldn't know. But I guess this guy, he's got a heart here from somebody, so I trust that. If anything breaks, I'll just roll it back later. Set Vim matchup before plugin configuration. Several of the Vim matchup options don't take effect unless they're set before the plugin is required. Interesting. I did not know that. Let's do that then. I think I did read that though, and then I totally ignored it. I think that's everything I'm gonna be merging. Everything else is either old or not really in the scope of something that I want. Let's see. Just got an interview from Google. All 4 rounds were LeetCode hard level. Yeah, if you want to work at Google, you need to constantly do LeetCode, or I don't think there's anyone genius enough to be good at LeetCode problems without drilling them a lot. Like you don't just like go to a data structures class and like just take the class and like get good or whatever, and then like you can just go do LeetCode problems. Like that person doesn't exist, right? You're gonna have to drill them. For sure. And then, guess what? You'll never need those. Well, I won't say that it'll make you a worse programmer. It will make you a better programmer to do a lot of LeetCode, but you won't use a lot of it again in most jobs. Bill Gates is the most interesting modern physicist. Maybe, if you trust modern physicists. I have an interview in 4 days. Good luck, man. In a full stack position with 0 debt. You're a genius, Kyle. You're truly a Chad among men. No debt too. Yeah, I didn't have that much debt coming out. Nothing that like it's nothing I couldn't handle. It's really not bad at all. The only reason I could easily pay all of my debt off right now, but the only reason I won't pay it all off, and I do not have much left, the only reason I won't do it is because I see the dollar devaluing. So I'm like, why would I do that? Thank you, Slider. Oh, it must have been... Yeah, good luck. Yeah, good luck. Everyone needs good luck for interviews. They're a pain in the ass. They usually have like 4 rounds. It's like a whole nightmare. I like this format of streaming. Good, because I like to sit here and rant and complain about stuff while I fix my software. It just comes naturally. Let's see. So let's go into .config nvim and let's pull all my changes, and then let's see what breaks when I do this. Nothing. Okay, good. Wait, what changes do I have in here? Oh, that's a nightmare. Lorem ipsum is also useful. Sure. Why don't how useful is this? I don't really care about that. I don't really care about lorem ipsum, and I don't really care about that either. So that's fine. I could have stashed them or something, but that's fine. Now. All right, nothing breaks. Are we sure? Yes? That's good. Cool. LunarVim is too slow in Ubuntu. Any tricks? Well, okay, so I doubt it's Ubuntu. It's probably just you have a slower computer. So like I don't notice the problems that people have with like their like startup time is a little long. And it might be a little bit long, right? There's ways for me to fix this, but again, I'm a little lazy with it. If I don't think it's an Ubuntu problem. I think it's likely just like your system resources just like aren't there, like CPU, RAM, all that kind of stuff. It depends what you mean by slow. Is it slow to start up or is it slow in the LSP? Like in LSP, I guess. When I want to learn a new language, what I do is re-implement the same that's smart. Re-implement the same project with what language. In each iteration, I add new functionality so I can focus on a language and not logic. Yeah, that's smart. I do a similar thing. If I'm learning a new language, typically I'll just write a quick like to-do list in it, like in a microservice. I'm usually a back-end developer, so like I'll usually just write like a quick microservice that just does like to-do because it'll just like do all that kind of stuff, and then I'll try to get a little fancy with it in some areas or something like that, just to like learn it. Simple, but yeah, that's usually the go-to, and then you usually learn like a framework that goes along with it too when you do that. Let's see. Time to steal from LunarVim. Yeah. Vim LSP is incredibly slow. That's post system specs. What are your system specs? I might be able to help you with that. So what is slow startup time? If we're being real here, a lot of people say stuff is slow, but there is now measurement to it. So let's end it here. What is a slow startup time? I don't know what a slow startup time is, right? Like this might be a slow startup time for some people, but again, it could be that it works really well because I have like, 1 second. What am I dealing with here? What's my favorite one for this? I think GoTop is the one I use. Yeah, like I have like 12 CPUs and all different other kinds of stuff. Is there Dart support? Nah, not right now. You should have no problems, man. I don't know what your issue is. I don't know what the problem is with that. Is Neovim runs fine? How big is the project you're working on? That's more than 3 times my specs. Yeah. It's a pretty savage computer. Solo inglés. I don't know what that means. I want a solid IDE based on NVim or something. Yeah, me too. That's why I have this. I love LunarVim, but losing big files too slow and tool goes nuts. But if I want it in vanilla Vim, it works well. I do have a very powerful machine. That's interesting. I mean, I've even worked with pretty big Java projects, and I haven't had that many problems. I don't know. Flutter. I don't have any experience with Flutter. I really like how LunarVim is built in a very modular way with different kinds of configurations separated in different directories. Is it possible to enable only parts of LunarVim as a user? Some things. If you check out LV settings and global settings and stuff like that, there are things you can kind of turn on and off. To be honest, the best way to use LunarVim probably, I mean, what you can really learn from LunarVim is the fact that how long and how much work it takes to really get something that works well for multiple languages. I kind of recommend everybody like at least try to like implement something of their own, and then like something small, and then you'll I think most people are going to need something like LunarVim. It takes a lot of time to get a Neovim config set up where everything works very well with like all the plugins work well with each other. Many fellow programmers have become obsessed with making their algorithms as fast as possible, when in reality, the difference in execution time is not appreciable in any use case. Yeah, that's also true. But it's something to do every day, right? So, you know. Cursor movement, respond time around 1 second. That's interesting. Yeah, it could also be that your laptop just, I don't know. I really don't know. Force Neovim to use system libhub when linking. No, I've never done that. You might have to just build Neovim differently. I'm not sure. I just yoinked from MVim Chad, some random guy, and now LunarVim. There is no support for Flutter and Dart and LunarVim right now, but you could maybe put out some kind of layer for a PR or something that you could like activate. I would maybe accept something like that. I don't know. Anyway, I think I merged a good amount of stuff. LunarVim's working better. I'm streaming again, so that's good. It's been 2 hours of stream, so I think I'm going to get out of here. Hopefully my rant was somewhat helpful for people. And I'll probably be doing more Neovim content in the future. I don't really want to start doing more Neovim stuff until 0.5 is out. Like, I'll probably do a few LunarVim things, but I won't do like piece by piece builds and stuff. Let's see. I'm definitely doing more blockchain content for sure. I don't care if people don't like it. Because it's something that I want to learn. This isn't the Neovim channel. This is kind of my channel to put whatever I want. It actually used to be like more of a, it was supposed to be like a data science channel, and then I kind of ran off with this. It gets just like too many views and stuff. Can confirm it was helpful and made me more depressed. That's good. Do you think 0.5 will come out before July? Do I think that? No. Do I hope that? Of course. I think it'll be, it might be in a year. It'll probably come out, if I would say, like, optimistically by fall. That, or they should like take some stuff out of like what makes 0.5 done, but I don't know how mission critical the things are in that list to make 0.5 done, so I don't know. But they might be. So I mean, it works fine for me day to day, but there are some issues every now and then, especially with Tree Sitter. So anyway, yeah. So I am going to probably just list all the places that you can. Yeah, vanilla Neovim it works great with stuff. Maybe we should like really try to make it like really, really, really light in the base config. That's something I would like to work on. But again, I don't have all the time in the world. Unfortunately, I do have a job. I would love to quit, but I can't. Let's see. So I'm just going to list out some of the places where you can find me and my content, where to support me, and all that kind of good stuff. And then I'm probably going to sign off. Gaming streams will be in the future. More blockchain content, and I'm probably just going to live stream LunarVim stuff, and then also just do whatever. Also, keep an eye out for a website I'm probably going to be starting in the future. I'm probably going to start a website for LunarVim in the future, and then also I'm going to be starting a website for alternative technologies that are like alternatives for big tech companies, so you don't have to use big tech companies and stuff like that, and you can hopefully wean yourself off these things. One day I'd love to get off of YouTube and Twitter and all that kind of stuff, but it's kind of a slow process getting yourself off all that stuff. Anyway, you can follow me over on GitHub. You can see all like the mock files and stuff. This is like the configs for everything you kind of see that I'm using, so it might be instructive, helpful for people if they're interested in any of the configurations that I have for these programs. If you're like, how is he doing Windows and Window Manager stuff like this or whatever, right? You can check out my DWM build and my ST build, and then like D menu is up here too, so you can check that out. They're all floating around in my repositories. Also my blog, I showed that earlier in the thing. If you want to fork that, it's a pretty simple blog. It's how I take all my notes and stuff. And yeah, so that's kind of my GitHub. Obviously, you can check me out on YouTube. You can also follow me over on Odyssey. If you guys want to follow me on Odyssey, I would like to build up a big subscriber base over in here. The day that I have more followers on Odyssey than YouTube is the day that I will like do Odyssey first, and I'll like focus on live streaming there and everything. I don't even know if I'm streaming to Twitch right now. I guess I am, but I don't know if people even know that I'm on Twitch. But yeah, I'm doing that. You can follow me over on Twitter too. Every now and then I post stuff. I actually have way more followers than I thought I would get on Twitter, so Yeah, I mean, you can check me out over here too. If you want to support the channel, you can support me over on Patreon, or you can, if in the link of this video in the links section, you can send me crypto. I definitely recommend people at least start to understand crypto in general for the future, because that's gonna be something that really changes your life in about 5 to 10 years, and whether you like it or not. We're going to be keeping an eye on this milestone for Neovim, so we'll have that. Hopefully, these are the issues that need to get done, and when they're done, we will have zero point 0.5 done, and then I will make a ton of videos like I did last time, and it'll be cool. Also, obviously, you can follow me over on my website. Check out, the old stuff I did for Neovim, like all my old things. And if you want to get an idea about like my thought process for creating some of this stuff, a lot of that is outdated and I will have to update. But I have some other topics and stuff that you might be interested on here as well. Anyway, that's it for me. So I will talk to you guys later. I don't know when the next stream will be or the next video, but do expect more content. All right. See you guys later.